The Inner Strength Teen Program is a combination of mindfulness and cultural development. It teaches students a context for their experience. What students learn is to cultivate objectivity on the nature of mind, thought, feeling, and understanding of how the brain developed. They also learn about the last 800 years of history, where we come from, how cultures evolved, and how that contextualizes their own experience now.
My name is Karen Thomas. I am the principal of the William Bodine High School for International Affairs. Bodine is a magnet high school program in the school district of Philadelphia. We're going to have 600 students in the fall. We're actually growing a little bit. We invite students that are high academic performers to apply. And we have an incredibly diverse population here. I think we mirror the city. We have students of all walks of life, all ethnic backgrounds, most continents are represented. And we are partnered with the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia. So we infuse our program in every way with global affairs and global awareness. It doesn't matter if it's in science, mathematics, language, and our students do get to take advantage of lots of specialized programs with the World Affairs Council affiliation. Our students are urban teenagers. The estimates are that many kids in Philadelphia are experiencing ongoing trauma. Sometimes it's very severe, sometimes it's just a matter of family issues that are going on or neighborhood issues that are going on. All of our students receive a free lunch and a free breakfast. Approximately 93% of the students would qualify for that. It is a district-wide program, however, because of the poverty in Philadelphia. So we have students that, while they may be in a magnet program and they qualified academically to be here, they're facing things that are hard for some of us to imagine. We have students who live in neighborhoods where they do not go out. When they leave in the morning and they come back in the afternoon, they stay in their home. The family feels that the neighborhood is dangerous, and they're probably right. They're limited to what they can do because of that. We have students who are in foster care and have been in multiple placements, which is very difficult for them. We have many students who've experienced the death, often violent, of a family member because of some of the issues of violence in the city. So they're dealing with things that some of us never deal with until we're in our middle age because of the problems that are inherent in urban centers, and in particular in Philadelphia, which ranks pretty high in poverty per capita for a large city in the United States. We took time out to provide our students with a program that helps with mindfulness, stress reduction, and cultural awareness because of all of the trauma that most of our kids are facing day to day. It makes sense to tackle those issues so that our students can then focus on learning and focus on their future. We're a college preparatory school. There's a lot of pressure on students these days to perform and compete for those seats in colleges. And it just seems that the work that we need to do has to center more around helping them become more grounded, more centered, more aware of themselves, and aware of how to deal with stress when it does come up so that they can focus on the right things. The Inner Strength Teen Program is a natural fit for our students. Our students are very bright. They're ready for challenges, but oftentimes the roadblocks of what they're dealing with because of trauma in their lives stops them in their tracks. They need to have the tools to be able to deal with that so that they can focus on those things that are going to get them to college and career, and the things that are going to make them successful and happy in life. At a school like ours, and many schools in urban centers, especially in Philadelphia, the big job is really to make sure that students have the ability to cope with and process what they go through day to day in a way that is positive and provides some growth for them to move forward. So the Inner Strength program is already helping many of our students to start changing their lives, frankly. They're calmer, many of them. They choose different actions when things come up that would have normally caused a bad reaction. And this is something we hope to expand upon for all of our kids. The Inner Strength program has really already evolved a lot, but it's given us some really exciting ideas. A couple of things we're looking at doing is providing some space for a little bit of a sanctuary, not only to hold the trainings and meditations, but for our kids to go when they need a place to go. They may meditate there or just find a quiet, comfortable space to be. I think it's really important to do that, and we're lucky. We found a small classroom that was being used for storage, and we're going to remodel it over the summer to do just that. Another thing that we started to see right away with the program is that we might be able to train some of our older students who are really finding an interest in it to become leaders of meditation, and use some time. We have long lunch periods where students have time to eat but also do other things like study and relax. But with the meditation room, the sanctuary room, have a specific time attached to each of the lunch periods where students know that they can go in and a meditation will start. And it could be led by some of the trained students perhaps, or teachers who might want to lead them, or even a recorded meditation if we don't have someone else to do it. So we're really, really excited about that. And the goal would be to train every student and any teacher or adult in the building who wants to know how to meditate or even how to lead a meditation. The Inner Strength program really is something I see expanding into many of our schools, elementary too, not just high schools. The sooner we train the children in Philadelphia to have the tools they need to handle the difficulties in life, the better the city is going to be. We know the problems that Philadelphia and other big cities have with violence, and it seems to filter through all aspects of our society. So if we can train students better ways to cope with things and feel some inner peace and feel that they can approach their problems in a different way, then it's going to be great for everybody. It's going to be great for the city as a whole, not just the students and their families. It's also something they take home with them. So they may be the only one who's ever even heard of this, but when they go home and they're excited about it, and the parents and the siblings and the extended family see a change in them for the better, and some of the things that seem to exude out of people that are more at peace, then there seems to be like a natural progression that will have to happen to bring this to even more people. I know that this school, we would be open in the future to even perhaps offering trainings for family members after school or in the evening. This is something I think is for everybody. The long-term effects of the Inner Strength program are really profound. We are a global affairs, international affairs school. A lot of our students are involved in the International Baccalaureate program. So their dreams are worldwide type of dreams. A lot of them hope to go off to college. Some of them want to travel abroad or work abroad or even live abroad. And as we mentioned, their families are extremely diverse culturally as well, coming from other countries, sometimes second generation. The parents come from Africa, Asia, South America, Central America. So the meditation and the skills that these students are acquiring are already changing the outcomes for them and their families. We know that adolescents and teenagers sometimes make choices that aren't the best for them. And I can mention a specific student who was very troubled here. He's a junior, and when he feels a certain way now, he casually comes in and takes a seat on the side in the office during lunch rather than getting involved in something he shouldn't. He is part of the meditation program. I see these types of experiences already happening for them. some of the kids who were having difficulty. And of course, he comes from a background that was tough for him. And so he had to learn different ways to find inner peace and not negatively affect others around him. If we can do this for some of our most troubled students and children in Philadelphia, it's going to have a profound effect worldwide, not just here. Success breeds success, and when other people see that, well, that person's content, they're happy, they're able to handle stress, then other people want that. So I see this as something that could have a profound effect on not just on Bodine High School or the city of Philadelphia, but the world.
My name is Mckay. I'm an English teacher and the IB coordinator. I see our mindfulness practice as helping students to develop a sense of themselves and creating a real team building community spirit in the classroom, a shared experience that we take elsewhere into our lives, and it changes your perspective on the world a bit. Because when you're quiet with yourself, you're able to identify things that you couldn't previously. Bodine is a very small school and a wonderful community. And within the school, we have the IB program, and the students tend to be very close anyway because they spend a lot of time together. But this has really improved the quality of the relationships between them. And being a participant myself, it has just been a really meaningful thing for us to be able to talk about and consider how a mindfulness can really take us inward rather than outward with all of our devices and all of the distractions of the world. Students responded to the lessons about the brain and cultural development in that they were able to be more accepting of themselves and where they are right now in their lives, that it's okay to feel the way that they do. It's completely natural, it's completely normal. And the cultural changes that we're experiencing now are very difficult for adults, and even more so for teenagers because of where they are developmentally. So I think it provided an opportunity for them to be more accepting of themselves and each other. I think that the mindfulness program can help us grow better leaders in that they become more introspective and they are more accepting of other people and meeting them right where they are. They respond less reactively and more thoughtfully. And I think those are skills that the students are taking from this program.
What I liked most about the program was, I would say the body scanning, because it really helps out with all of the stress in certain places of my body. Normally after basketball, I would just do a lot of the body scanning when I go home, and it would just really help me out with all of pain and stressing and all of my thoughts that just are bunched together, and it really helps me out in that way. The mindfulness has really helped me with my health issues. I'm epileptic, so I have a lot of seizures sometimes, and with that, it's just the meditation is kind of taking away the stressful thoughts, and stress has really been a very big enemy to seizures. So with meditation, it just sometimes takes away a lot of stress. My favorite meditation is the thought bubble meditation, in which we just go through all of our thoughts and we kind of take away the negative thoughts by just letting them go and letting the positive thoughts stay. And with that, it just really helps out with my optimism, because I like to be optimistic, and with taking away negative thoughts, it just really helps out through life most of the time. So I think the thought bubble one was my favorite meditation.
See, this program just alleviates my school stresses, my work stresses, and just life stresses in general. It just helps me be calm and not think so hard about my surroundings. I'm actually attending Temple University, and I'm a business major at the Fox School of Business, and I'm planning to study risk management with a minor of MIS, Management Information System.
My name is Antoine Golston, and I'm currently a senior at Bodine High School. In the fall, I will be attending Haverford College and hoping to study economics, biology, or philosophy. As far as my long-term goal, I hope to be a corporate lawyer in insolvency. Having done the inner strength program for 2 years, in the first year, I think a lot of it is an adaptation. You learn certain techniques and you carry them every day, and they help you to, in some ways, learn to alleviate stress. But I think that in the second year, you start to pay more attention to detail while you're in meditation, or you're focusing on critical thought or objectivity in certain given situations. I think that the biggest lesson that I learned in the second year in comparison to the first year is the simple idea that details matter. And when you focus on the smaller details in a larger picture, you tend to appreciate life more when you're looking at it objectively and taking away your emotions. I think that the biggest thing that I learned from objectivity through while you're thinking is the simple fact that as human beings, we tend to allow our emotions to control our actions and behavior on a day to day basis. And when you take a moment to just think, close your eyes, and focus on, say, a body scan meditation, what really comes out of it is the fact that you realize that it's not harmful to detach your emotions from your thoughts, and that objectivity allows one, a plan, but two, for you to realize how the decision that you're making impacts others. And there were countless moments in my life where I allowed my emotions to control a certain action. And having gone through the inner strength program and started to think about objectivity through thought, I've learned that everything that I do impacts another person, and I've learned to interact with people and hopefully positively impact them. I meditate as often as I can. Um, and what it really have the way I've benefited from it is really it comes down to the simple fact that things are so simple when you break them down. And we tend to look at things so complex and not have a plan and get overwhelmed by it. But when you sit down and think and critically think about things, you create a simplistic plan that eases stress. My biggest takeaway from the lesson about human history over the past 800 years, postmodernity, and human evolution, is that as an individual, I have the simple ability to change myself.
My career goals are business. I want to go into marketing. My favorite part of the program was the body scan exercise because it forced me to focus on certain parts of my body instead of just having a mindfulness session. And I think that really helped me focus and get my mind into meditation, which helped me later on focus on myself and not on my thoughts and what I was thinking. In the beginning, it was hard because I didn't know how to stop, not necessarily stop thinking, but let the distractions get to me. And then eventually I learned to just ignore them and to focus on myself, and then it became a lot easier at the end. The most important thing that I learned about myself was that I really need to take a moment to myself from time to time and just sit down and relax and not let the stress get to me, because it will it will have a negative impact on me. And if I really do just take some time to myself, then I can handle the situations better and from a different perspective. My advice to other schools who are thinking about this program is that this really encourages students to steer away from negative stress coping mechanisms and just really focus on themselves in a more positive way.
My name is Tulupe Adekunle, and I'm going to be attending Albright College to study linguistics with a minor in speech pathology. I love to meditate because a lot of people say it relieves stress, but to me it helps me understand myself more. Like when I'm doing the body scan or when I'm doing the little chocolate meditation, I feel like I'm not focusing really on that. I'm focusing on like myself and how to really understand myself more. What I really liked about the program is that every time I walked into the room and was about to meditate, I knew I was going to have fun.
My name is Amy Edelstein, and I'm the founder of Inner Strength Foundation and the creator of its flagship program, the Inner Strength Teen Program. The Inner Strength Teen Program is a 12-week in-school mindfulness and cultural development program, which teaches students specific skills to help them de-stress, focus, and self-reflect. It also teaches them how to think systematically and from a bigger perspective. So it teaches them about cultural influences, it teaches them about physiological influences from brain development, and it teaches them how to set their experience in the vast swath of time so that they can understand how they arrived where they are, why they feel the way they do. And then they can depersonalize some challenging experiences and discover some space and objectivity so they can become better agents of their own lives and realize their higher potentials. I feel very strongly about the value of this program. I've seen it work with over 800 students in the Philadelphia public school system, students of a variety of backgrounds, some who come from very challenging life circumstances, and some who are more stable, come from more stable backgrounds, more privileged backgrounds. They all need tools to develop better relationships, to understand peer pressure, to learn about their emotions, their brain development, and why the world is the way it is in the 21st century. I developed this program out of the insights that have worked best for me. I've been practicing these tools since the early 80s and have really lived a life of philosophic discovery and education, and thought a lot about what are the values and perspectives that are going to help us change our culture. What I'm hoping to do with this program is to empower our contemporary urban adolescents with the perspectives and the skills to help understand the world as it is and help them become better stewards of our future. This program isn't only about de-stressing or helping kids cope with problems. It really is about helping them understand their higher potentials and their higher aspirations and create for them pathways and ways of thinking and engaging with the confusing aspects of life in a way that's very creative, very positive, very forward-thinking, and ultimately deeply empowering of the better parts of their nature. No matter how challenged kids are, they are kids and they like to learn. It's a stage of life that's filled with creativity and curiosity, potential and aspiration, and that's what this program is really designed to liberate. So it does build in tools about self-reflection, safety, anti-bullying, positive relationship development. It has all of the messages that are needed in urban settings where there's so much strife and there's so much emotional conflict that can lead to physical conflict. So the program does address those issues and give tools to the students, but really it does so by empowering their curiosity and their interest, their delight in life, their creativity, their sense of possibility, and their desire for a better world. Part of being a teen is being idealistic and looking towards the future. And I really love these kids. They really come out with the most honest and vulnerable and innocent and passionate expressions about their goals in life and what they want to change and what they want to do. And you can feel in them all of the energy to make those dreams real. And that's what this program is really about. My long-term goal for the program, which I hope I can accomplish in the short term, is to reach a significant number of the teens in urban Philadelphia. Because if enough teens are exposed to this kind of systemic and integral thinking and these tools for self-reflection and self-discovery, they're gonna self-reinforce. Peers influence peers, siblings influence siblings, and I really believe that we can see a significant change in the culture here as we empower these students and as they grow into the leaders and teachers and governors and senators and even presidents of tomorrow.
So, how many of you were able to maintain focus and notice the sounds in the room and stay centered?
Sometimes I usually have a song in my head, but this time my mind was clear, like I didn't hear anything.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you.
The vibration like relaxes you, so it just kind of keeps everything else out.